Welcome to the Songwriter Connection, the podcast that delves deep into the art and heart of songwriting. Each week, we gather around the dining room table to uncover the stories behind the songs. We invite you to join us on a journey to the creative minds of the songwriters who shape the melodies of our lives. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenahan.
It is so nice for you to join us on the pod. Appreciate you being there. If you listen to on the day that its podcast is released, it's February 19th, 2025. And we release, by the way, every Wednesday, 2 o'clock in the morning, Central U.S. time. And I say that because we're in a lot of other countries out there. There's like 39, 40 different countries. So we appreciate you out there as well. Trinity Wiseman is our guest. This is episode 196. And before we get into it, I want to promo some shows that are coming up. This is 196, right? Episode 200 is going to be incredible. Confirmed today. I can tell you that on March 19th, our guest is a huge songwriter in Nashville. In fact, just one of the big songs he co-wrote was The House That Built Me. Do you know who we're talking about? Nancy Decken?
Yes, I do.
Tom Douglas is going to be around this dining room table. So
oh, my God.
I look forward to interviewing him. There was a movie called Love, Tom, and he's just the coolest guy. So I can't wait for you to meet him and make the contact.
There was a book, and he based the movie on the book?
On the book.
Right.
How about that? Wow. Writes with our good friend Bill O'Hanlon.
Yes.
Yeah. So Nancy Decken is here of Discover Sooner.
Hey.
Thanks for coming back. In fact, the next 2 weeks you're going to be with us. Yeah.
So exciting. Always good to see you, Dave.
She does a lot for songwriters in town. Also her own publishing company, Nashville Cool. Mm-hmm. And you signed our guest today at quite an early age, didn't you?
Yes, at 16 years old.
Yeah. And I remember her when I was doing the 12 Keys rounds here in Hermitage. You came out and did a couple of shows for us and always blew us away.
Yeah, I did. It was super fun. Yeah.
It's nice to have you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And you brought your guitar, so you're going to sing a little bit.
I did bring her here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Her. So you must have a name.
I used to have one that had a name. I used to be an only Taylor type of girl. So I had a couple of Taylors that all had names. But that's Heather over there.
Heather.
Yeah.
Hi, Heather.
She's great.
So gorgeous.
See, I love the movie Heathers, so that's kind of where it came from. And also, like, it was one of my parents' baby names they had in mind for me or my older sister. So yeah,
so you were almost a Heather yourself.
Almost, yeah, almost a Heather, almost a Veronica. So but Trinity ultimately won out.
Trinity,
Matrix fans, it's kind of what happened. Yeah.
Sure, it's a great artist name, I think.
Yeah, I always get asked if that's my real name, especially even Trinity Wiseman. I feel like it's always a question. I'm like, oh no, my parents, they named me that. So, it's great.
Trinity Wise Woman.
Yes, exactly. I always have to say like one wise man when people ask how to spell it, because a lot of people say Weissman or they say whatever.
Wise man.
So it's literally a singular wise man. So
how about that? That's so cool. Now, I was reading that you started singing very late in life. I mean, you were like 2 years old.
Yeah, very late.
Why did you wait so long?
Well, I
Seriously, 2 years old?
I want to take my time. Yeah, but
they said that you were singing at 2 years old with your grandma before you could even really talk.
Yeah, I was. So it kind of just came out of the blue. I mean, I would be with my grandma a lot of the time. Both my parents worked, so she would babysit us during the day. She lived up the street with my pap, and so I would go there every day, and we would sing Andrea Bocelli and Celine Dion together. And
no kidding.
Yeah, I would sing the prayer with my grandma, and it was great. I mean, she honestly really influenced the type of music I listened to.
Tell me there's some recordings of that.
I'm sure there are. Yeah, for sure.
That you don't know of personally. Though.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see them, but yes.
I would love to see them.
I would love to see it, though. I think she's great.
That would be so viral. Wouldn't it go viral? Do you sing Andrea Bocelli with grandma?
I would only sing with my grandma. And then by the time I was 6, I told my mom I was going to do the talent show, and she was like, what? Because I was a really shy kid.
Oh, yeah.
So I told her I was going to do it, and she was like, well, if you do it, like, most of the kids, they would just sing along with the song, so there would be the vocal on the track and everything. But she was like, no vocal.
No.
She said, no vocal. You're going to do karaoke if you go up and do it, And I was like, okay. So I went up there and I sang, and my mom was like, oh, this is like a serious thing. She's actually actually good. So yeah.
And by age 8, you're taking guitar lessons?
Yeah. I was very adamant about doing that. Wow. And every single year something changed. I wanted to learn earlier than that, but at my school they would teach lessons, and they kept moving up the little like cutoff that they had. So it would be like, I got to first grade, they would only do third grade and up. I got to third grade, they moved it to fourth grade. So then it kept happening all the way into middle school. And then they were like, well, you've been taking private lessons for too long, so play something else. So then I played upright bass for a while as well, which was great.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Do you still do that?
I do sometimes. Yeah.
I love the sound of an upright bass.
Oh, it sounds incredible. I always loved it because it feels out of room.
Do you
when
play
you play
any other instruments?
No, I only really do like stringed instruments. So I play bass, and I'll play guitar and ukulele and stuff like that. But
it's good.
Nothing too crazy.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's fun.
It's great. And you hail from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I do. I'm a Pittsburgher, a Yinzer, as they would say.
Yins.
Yeah.
Yins going downtown.
Exactly.
I worked for a while in Youngstown, Ohio. I come from Ohio, the Cleveland area, and I know we can still be friends. Right?
Yeah.
Nancy and I are, right?
Exactly,
from Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Besides, when the Browns moved in the 90s, Pittsburgh fans stood up for us, so I've always respected love you guys for that. So, but anyway, screw. So Pittsburgh, and then at a very young age, you're playing at pubs and restaurants. Around the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah, so I started playing guitar at 8, and then I really started writing by the time I was 9. Jeez. Not well, but I was writing. I was doing that. But my mentor, he was a guitar player. He still is a guitar player. He still plays out. But he was good friends with my mom growing up. And he heard me playing the one day in my lesson with my teacher. And he was like, she's really good. Like, can she sing? Like, for her age, she's so good. Yeah. And my mom was like, yeah. And he goes, she should play on our set breaks. So I came out, and I was 11 at the time, and I played on his set breaks, and I sang Zombie by the Cranberries. And just tried to own it, But so then I started playing my own shows when I was 12 or 13.
Cool.
And my dad he was a drummer back in the 80s. That's how my parents met, actually. Wow. My mom was at one of his shows.
A musical family.
Yeah. Okay. So he would have to come with me anyways to the shows. And so I told him he should just join in. And so he ended up switching over to the cajon, which is a lot easier to bring
especially
in.
When you're doing acoustic sets.
And when you're in venues so small that I had to raise my arm for people to go to the bathroom, like with the guitar. Yeah, so it was great. It was great for him to be there.
Put some money in the tip jar before I let you go.
Oh, exactly. I know. I'm like, I'll block you off. You can't go pee. So you put something in. Yeah. So
Dig deep.
Exactly. So it was really fun, and I've been playing shows with my dad ever since back in Pennsylvania. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's great. I'm super grateful.
So I read that they said that by the age of 15, you've been winning awards, playing all around, and you've been, and this happens a lot to folks that move to Nashville, about as far as that town could take you. So it was time to come to Nashville, and eventually you would go to Belmont University, huh?
I did, yeah. I did my round of competitions up in Pennsylvania. I came to Nashville for the first time, actually, because of Nancy every year. I came when I was 11 and got to kind of see everything, and then by the time I was 15, started coming down more regularly, which was awesome. And I always knew Belmont was for me. So
did you?
Yeah, it was one of those things where I tried to entertain other options, but I don't think anything could beat their adjunct professors and the program that they offered for music business, so.
They've got some incredible.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was great. So I went there in 2018. Yeah, and it was incredible. So
many big stars came on. Lady A, right?
Oh, yeah.
Brad Paisley, was it?
FGO, Brad Paisley. Yeah, there's a bunch of people, and they would always come through. And, Larry the Cucumber would come a bunch, too. I don't know if you guys are familiar with VeggieTales, but...
Did they come and speak to the classes?
Yeah, sometimes. But they would always do little, we had these things called convo events that you had to get a certain amount of hours before you graduated, and it would be a lot of stuff like that. So it was always great. I mean, we got to meet people that worked at labels and people that were actually in the music scene currently. So it wasn't like we were learning from an outdated textbook about what was going on.
And I think it's really important, especially when you're a young artist coming up, is to make contacts.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always the regurgitated information to you as soon as you get here. So like, it's all about the connections, but
network.
It really is. Yeah, exactly.
So you started networking right away, didn't you?
I tried, You know, I tried to get less shy as I got older, and I feel like I've climbed over that hill a little bit. But
I did read in one of your bios, it said that you were very introverted. And I thought, wow, that doesn't sound like the Trinity I know.
Yeah, I used to play shows and I refused to speak. I would just go and I would just sing and do it because speaking made me so nervous, but singing for some reason I was always pretty cool with. Yeah, I mean, as I've made more connections down here and I have a lot of artist friends in town and even songwriter friends, I feel like I come across a lot of people that are naturally introverted and kind of have to climb over it. And
it's not unusual in creatives. It really isn't. But I imagine that performing has helped you climb out of that a little bit. Huh?
For sure. Yeah. And I think as I've gotten older too, and I think making the move down here and being 9 hours away from Pittsburgh, and my family stayed up there. I'm one of 4 kids, so of course they stayed up there. But I was away from home. I kind of had to make it on my own and be independent. And
you grow up big time, don't you?
I tried, you know, for sure. So it happened pretty quickly, but I feel like especially by the time I graduated, it was like just very different. I was very much more comfortable going out and, you know, networking, doing whatever. Yeah.
So how did you meet Nancy? And Nancy, how did it all come together for you guys?
It's kind of a silly story, but NSAI was doing an event in Pittsburgh.
And you were a coordinator with NSAI.
Yeah, she was.
There's that name again. We and if you're new to the podcast, NSAI is
Nashville Songwriters Association International, and I and my other co-coordinators, we had organized an event where a publisher from Nashville was coming up, and in walked Trinity.
Yeah, it was with Bob Della Posta.
Oh, Bob Della Posta.
Yeah, and I went with my mom because, you know, I couldn't drive myself at the time. I was 11, and so everyone kind of said something to my mom about like, oh, couldn't get daycare today, and my mom's like, no, it's my daughter. It's actually her. I'm here to just.
That wasn't me.
Was not you. Was not you. But it was definitely lighthearted. But it was a really cool space to be in because a lot of songwriter things are 21 plus if you go do anything, especially in Pittsburgh. Most like the Club Cafe and stuff like that was all 21 plus back then, and I wasn't welcome there, obviously. But yeah, I met Nancy there, and she took an interest in me, and she was like, I want to write with you. And like, I'd never co-written with anybody besides my mom. So I was like,
Nancy's
sure.
a good writer.
Yeah, she's great. She's incredible. We still write together to this day, but it's a little bit different now, I'm sure, than it was back then. But yeah, it just kind of happened like that. And she told me I should come to Nashville. Bob Della Posta actually set me up with a rep at CSAC. So I became
a CSAC writer?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, since I was 11.
You have to be invited into that.
Yeah.
There's BMI, and these are, again, if you're new to this, PROs, they get you your royalties. And Nancy wrote a book.
She did.
Songwriter's Guide to Protecting Your Songs and Collecting Your Money.
And it's out there, and it's a great book.
Amazon.
But see, the big ones are BMI, which I'm a member, and there's ASCAP. And then there's CSAC, but CSAC is kind of exclusive. It's a club.
Yeah, it's invitation only. And
invitation only.
Yeah, I was really nervous going in. Obviously, I was 11. And
11 years old.
Yeah, I was 11. I went in, and he had connected me with John Mullins, who has since retired. But I went there and brought my little guitar in and played him some music. And he was like, you were in from the recommendation. Like, you didn't have to do all this stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was great. And
you showed him.
Yeah, exactly. So then he retired, and E.T. Brown is my new rep, and he's incredible, which is awesome. Yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we move on, I would like to say Trinity walked into our NSAI event an 11-year-old songwriter.
Unreal.
With her own style, with her own way, her own cadence, like no one had. The song was good, but the artistry was phenomenal. And
you saw something in her at that young age.
Clearly. And, in 2011, Taylor Swift was also very, very big in 2011. Right?
Sure, yeah.
And now, like, my granddaughter's all about the Taylor Swift even now. But still in all, there's so much artistry. And when Trinity started to come to Nashville, we really worked to put Trinity with writers that could help and inspire and in our own way, you know, we learn so much from our co-writers. And Trinity, on her way home from being in Nashville, driving in the car with her parents, would always almost write a song on her own, because her inner artist was like, I have something to say that I want to say by myself. That was my interpretation.
Oh, yeah. It's always beating against the bars of the enclosure. I felt like,
Right.
Yeah.
So she's 100%er. She can write a song by herself. She really doesn't need any co-writers, but it's really fun to have co-writers, and they help push us and take us in new directions. Sure, and it's always been a joy and a pleasure. And this woman gets up and works every day on this. This is what you need to do to make it happen. And she's really taken control of her career from day one and made it happen, and had the great parents who could support without being too interfering in any kind of way that wasn't helpful. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's just been a joy to be a part of her life, and her family. They're fantastic.
We've said it before on this show. There's no shortcuts. No shortcuts at all.
No, yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's good to see. You're one of those artists that do it all yourself.
Yeah, I
mean, I really respect that. I know you work hard.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's one of those things where if you're not in the industry, or if you're not familiar with it, you don't really understand that, like, sure, we don't work the same hours as like a 9-to-5 job, but you're always on. Like always. Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and be like, I have a song that's stuck in my head that I need to write, and I'm going to go record the voice memo in the bathroom and hope I don't wake my roommate up. You know, like it's kind of one of those things. But no, it was really beneficial, I think, especially to meet someone so already immersed in the songwriting world, like Nancy, that just had so much guidance and so many things to teach me. And I feel like I came down and kind of had a little bit of a head start where I got really immersed in co-writing by the time I was like 14 or 15. That's and great. It was really beneficial to me because I think I love writing by myself. I think I'm very in tune with who I am. That is one thing I can always say. But when you write with other people, I feel like you get a lot of feedback immediately. Yeah. And if somebody's like, I don't get that, and like, it'll make sense to me, of course, but it's great to have that person to bounce off of in a room. Really is. And especially people that have written songs for incredible artists or people that are artists themselves, you know, it's wonderful to be exposed to that. Yeah. Yeah,
it really is. Mm-hmm. The song I'm going to play here is your current single, which you wrote by yourself.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's play it. Tell us a little bit about it, Under the Hood, how it was written. And
so a little fun fact about me is I've had some not so stellar relationships in my life. But, you know, it took a lot of learning, I think. And I wrote this about a relationship that I learned a lot from. So I went through a breakup, and I honestly wrote the song almost immediately after.
Really?
Yeah, and it was kind of one that sat on the shelf for a little bit, and I would play it out sometimes, but it wasn't anything crazy. And then my producer was going through my catalog, and he heard this song, and he was like, we have to cut it. Yeah, so that's kind of how it came about.
That's awesome. Doesn't Taylor Swift do that kind of thing too? Breaks up, writes a song about the guy.
Always.
This is different.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
I don't really miss you. That's cool. Take a listen.
I'm tired of hearing your name come up in conversations I don't really care to be in. I hate when I'm trying to ease my mind and I start to think of what you could be doing. Do you spend your nights alone, free time scrolling on your phone, kick back and watch TV, stay up smoking too much weed? Do you sometimes feel me there, running fingers through your hair, or you're just too cool to care? And I really miss you. I just wish it wasn't so easy for you to forget me. I don't really miss you. I just hope that you feel empty whenever you think about me, but I don't think you do. Ooh. with me. You're always working out a way to keep me down, going out with all your friends and posting pics with them. Looks like you're doing well. You put me through your hell. You never know what you want until it's gone. Don't bet I miss you. I just wish it wasn't so easy for you to forget me. I don't really miss you. I just hope that you feel empty whenever you think about me, but I don't think you do. So I don't really miss you.
You tell him, Trinity. You tell him.
Of course,
I really
of course.
miss you. Wow. Great song. And very well produced. Who's your producer?
His name is Dan Diaz. He
Here in
goes
Nashville?
by, he's here in Nashville. He goes by Brickish. It's BRCKSH.
Brickish.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's like a mad scientist. And he's just, I have no other way to describe him than that. It was a magnetic when we met. And it was one of those things where we just kind of sit there and we do everything ourselves. So I will play a little thing on the synthesizer and he'll do something else on the board and whatever. It's incredible to
True
work
magic.
with him.
That's where the magic happens.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It's good to have a good producer like that. That brings out the best in you. And you have a tremendous voice.
Thank you so
I really
much.
like how you sound.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, before the show, you volunteered this to me, and I was going to ask you on the show anyway. You talked about coming to the Pittsburgh NSAI meetings at the age of 11. Very much the same with my friend Olivia Francis. Do you know Olivia?
I don't know if I do.
Oh, she's here around town. And she was like 11 and 12 to come to our meetings and then moved to Nashville and is doing really well. And she calls her brand of music. At one point, she called it Sunshine Story Pop. But as she's involved as an artist, she's changed that a little bit. And but I loved how she branded herself. And how do you define what you do? And I'm asking this to get to the next question, but I want to know, how do you define what you do?
So that was always the $1 million question.
Yeah.
Growing up, and even to this day, I feel like people are always kind of, they don't want to box you in, I guess, but they really just want to give a name to what you're doing.
Yeah, because the hardest question you get as an artist is, what kind of music do you play?
Oh, for sure. Because, I mean, pop is so wide. There's so much that goes into it. There's so many different sides. But I got to the point where I titled it Atmospheric Folk.
Atmospheric Folk.
And Moody Pop. So it's a fusion of those two things.
And see, I love it. And I love the fusion.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been telling folks on this podcast is, in finding your voice, not only a writing voice, but your artist voice, it is okay to mix things up a little bit. I like this, I like that. You put it all together, it becomes you. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And it evolves as you go. Like, Olivia now calls it something else. And I can't recall. Olivia, if you're listening, I apologize. I can't remember what the new brand is. But you do have a brand, and it is important.
For sure, yeah.
Yep. And so when people say, what kind of music do you play? Boom.
That's what I always say now. Yeah, I feel like it used to be the question, and I feel like a lot of times people can get a little confused when they see you playing an acoustic guitar and singing. I feel like a lot of times in Nashville, people are like, "Oh, it's country." That's what it is, So it took me a long time to be like, no.
Everybody assumes Nashville, your country.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anytime I'm in Pittsburgh or in a different state playing music, or even outside the city, people will be like, "Oh, you live in Nashville, like you're doing country," and I was like,
yeah.
It's changed a lot. A lot of people that I went to school with don't do country, and a lot of the people that I work with and write with don't do country either. Mm-hmm. So it's great to have that little bit of an unlikely perspective here in Nashville.
That's what I always respected about Nancy Decken as a writer, because regardless of genre, she can go to any room and write with an artist. I don't care what their genre is.
Yeah.
Right, Nancy?
I do think that each genre has a way in which they say things. And if you put me in a hip hop room, I don't feel like I could contribute so much on that level. But I would make those people think about the story of this song.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I do think that it takes a lot of time to really understand, what is going on in each genre and try to bring out the best in whatever artist you're writing with.
Yeah, I think Nancy is incredible at pulling a story out of an artist. I think that's something that she can really pride herself on.
And I haven't written with her. I agree.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's an incredible feeling, I think, because I think sometimes as artists you can feel kind of misunderstood in the way that you feel, especially like with your own personal traumas or whatever you've dealt with in your life. I think that it can be hard to open up to people right up on the bat, but really co-writing is like therapy, and it really is. It's great to be open and to not really, care about what you say. And I think Nancy, from a very early age, for me, really was amazing at doing that.
We have a lot of trauma in common, so
we do. I feel like trauma bonded immediately. Right. So it's great to have somebody like that, and to also have somebody that understands, and someone that is also willing to be so open. I think that it's inspiring to have somebody like that in your life.
I want to talk about one of those traumas, but first, traumas, I should say. But first, I asked you about branding because I wanted to talk about how you go about promoting your songs, because you're a real DIY artist.
I am.
And this current single has a lot of streams on Spotify alone, I was just looking at. So how do you go about promoting a new single?
I mean, short answer is TikTok, to be honest.
Really? You love TikTok?
I don't.
No? But it's a necessary evil,
I do love it, like, as a person on there. I love scrolling mindlessly. I'm someone that...
I watched some of your TikToks.
Oh, yeah. I love to do that. But when it comes to being an artist on TikTok, I feel like it can be so difficult to separate yourself from other people. And I think that it can be a really necessary tool for people to find you. I mean, how are you going to grow a fan base if you're giving stuff to the same people all the time? Like, word of mouth can only go so far. Yep. So with this last single and the project that I did with Dan Diaz before that, I really tried to be on TikTok as much as I could and get the music out there, because nobody's going to listen if they don't know about it.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, it was the way to do it. I mean, I play out in Nashville probably 4 or 5 times a week. I always try to incorporate my original music there.
So you get it out there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a good way to go. And, I had Allie Colleen, Allie.
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
Allie was on the show a couple of times. And I remember the first time asking her, we talked about how there's so much music out there, and how do you find, if you search, you can find the music that you love. And I asked her, well, where do you look? And she goes, I love the TikTok kids these days.
It's great. Mm-hmm. I mean,
I discover so much new music watching
a handful of people I listen to are strictly from TikTok. I'll see a song on my For You page and I'll be like, I love that song, because also it's curated towards me. They know everything about me. Right. So I find people I really love that way. And I think that it's great to discover people and then just kind of see what other stuff they have out there. Do
you connect with them a little bit?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. I just went and saw somebody I discovered on TikTok. She headlined at the Exit Inn, and it was great. But she's someone that really blew up on TikTok, and then she, was collaborating with a bunch of people that were already in the industry, and now she's huge, which is awesome. So it's great to see people use that leg up to their advantage and make it work,
And we do hope that TikTok does not go away.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
We do not know this, the fate of TikTok, but it really does help the music industry so much. Does. And so many other people in industry too. So.
Yeah. And Instagram Reels too?
Instagram Reels too. Yeah, I try to do that as well. It can be, I feel like Instagram is so... It's hard to want to post a bunch of reels on there, I feel like, because it's very like photo based in my brain. I feel like I got on it when I was in 2014 and doing all that. And, but yeah, I think it's a great instrument to use as well, because people do discover you that way. Yeah. I mean, my single Blind Spot from my Blind Spot EP, that was a huge instrument in getting that song to where it is, so That's good. It's great. Awesome. Yeah.
So I should delete my MySpace?
I don't know. I mean, maybe there will be a resurgence on MySpace or something, but
Let's take a little break. Trinity Wiseman is our guest, along with Nancy Decken. And, we played her fully produced song a little bit ago, but she brought her guitar, and we're going to do it live around the dining room table the way I love to do, so don't go away.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection with Dave Linehan. Find us on Facebook and YouTube at the Songwriter Connection Podcast, and find Dave at thedaveconnection.com. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
Doing okay? How are we feeling? Good? Yeah.
I can't hear the voices anymore.
You can't? Wait, did I give you the short microphone?
Maybe.
Is that better? Can you hear
I
it?
still can't.
Can't. Gone it?
I heard it for a little bit, but
I'm going to throw those headphones away.
It's all right.
Get a brand new one.
Trade?
Trade? You want to trade?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
if you want, man.
We can do that. Sure. Here we go. Exciting behind the scenes stuff.
Ooh. There we go. Oh,
There you are.
Yeah.
Hello.
Awesome. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Nance.
We got
Always.
good. Hey,
So,
Yeah.
I want to just remind you, this is the point in the show that I say, if you are listening on YouTube, even if you're not, go there, click like and subscribe. We're hoping to one day monetize them too. There, and wouldn't that be awesome?
that'd be great.
I would take you to dinner at Waffle House. Get anything you want. If we do
I
that.
love Waffle House. I love it.
I'd like to do it after late shows.
Oh,
Biscuits.
Played up in Bowling Green on Monday night, and where did we go after the show?
yeah. Waffle House.
There was one right at the exit. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to.
That was my finals meal. I would go after we did finals and go to Waffle House. It was incredible. So.
We talk about writing from experience, and you talked about shared traumas, and I read about one of yours in 2010. Your
Yeah.
house burned down?
Yeah,
with
I did.
with all your guitars and
Yeah.
all your music?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, we had already had a pretty traumatic year with just, some family stuff. And we were, all hanging out that night. And my mom was at the gym. My older sister was dancing. And my two younger siblings and I were at home. And my dad was at home. And turkey fryer caught on fire. Yeah. And hit the house. And so it burned very quickly. I think that's something that you never really...
You don't
think that's going to happen, so we all kind of ran outside. Of course, it was like bath night. I don't know if everyone does that or if we're weird, but it's like, I don't know if we're a weird family, but it was bath night. So we all kind of were in like towels and went outside just, to be safe. And next thing we knew, the whole roof was on fire. And my cat passed away, which was horrendous. No. Yeah. But, my dog lived and nobody in the family was hurt. So, I mean, we can only be super grateful. Yeah. But
everything
it was crazy. Yeah. Everything was gone. And it was kind of a clean slate almost too. I always say it was kind of like almost a phoenix rising from the ashes in the sense of we had already had such a traumatic year, and having that happen, you would think would be like the worst thing to ever happen. And for me, like personally, I feel like it was almost like God being like, you can restart and everything's going to be fine. So our community really came together.
The community helped you.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Say,
yeah. I mean, we stayed at my grandma's for the first couple nights or weeks or so. And just the amount of like garbage bags filled with clothes and things from people was just overwhelming. I was on like a cup soccer team, and they were really strict about our uniforms. And then our next game, I remember like everyone wore like a black t-shirt so that I could be a part of it. Yeah. So it was a very traumatizing thing, obviously. But like I said, at the time, I mean, my family and I, we're incredibly close. I think also because we're all bonded from everything that we've been through. And it was really great to see everybody come together. And especially like with my music stuff, I mean...
What happened there?
Yeah. My guitar teacher donated some guitars to me. I think I came into the shop and he was like, pick your favorite one off the shelf and like, it's yours.
Wow.
Yeah. So I remember I picked up a Daisy Rocks guitar and I was like, this is the one for me. Cause it had like a pink star on it. It was like the best thing ever.
How about that? That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then my orchestra teacher, he donated guitars to me too. I mean, it was incredible. It was an incredible thing because I think you can just be so negative. You can have such a pessimistic outlook on life and just think that nobody's going to really help you. And in our time of need, people really helped. And it was amazing. And like the builders came and they built our house in 9 months. Like it was crazy. It was
That's
like
great.
a crazy amount of time. We were back in, we were debating moving, and my parents really decided to build on the same lot. And we moved back into the same plot that we lived on, you know, for years and years after that. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Amazing.
Crazy.
What a great story.
Yeah.
Heartwarming story.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow. Nance, I meant to ask you to tell us more about Discover Sooner. And I hope that you would do that. Do a little local commercial here. And then that gives you time to pick up that guitar because we're going to sing live around the dining room table. Nancy, Discover Sooner is a great organization.
Okay, 30-second commercial?
Show. Yeah, why not? Tell us.
Well, Discover Sooner is dedicated to helping songwriters and artists meet music professionals.
Yeah.
And certainly Trinity has been a part of many of those things. Some we do just pitching to professionals. Like we had a pitch this week to a sync agent, and he invited everyone to send him songs. I mean, it's 33 people.
Wow.
It was awesome. And then he gave such great feedback. So I think it's pitching songs. I mean, you know, people always say, well, were you getting out of that? Did you ever get a cut? But I think you get opportunities that you wouldn't have had if you hadn't been pitching. And then also, you know, these more long-term relationships with, you know, folks from Universal, Warner Chappell, various things, so that when an artist or a songwriter is ready to take that next step, they have some relationships in place and stuff like that. So, you know, just everything I ever wanted as a songwriter myself, Dave. That's what I'm trying to help the songwriters do. So that's what we do. And come see us, discoversooner.com.
Discoversooner.com.
Yeah.
All right, Trinity's got her guitar.
I do.
You've got a Yamaha?
I do. A Yamaha
Beautiful
Astoria.
guitar.
Yeah, it's the best, you know.
Okay, yeah.
It's great, you know, plug it in and it works. So can't complain about that, right? So
What would you like to play for us?
Yeah,
You've got a new CD coming out.
I do.
A new single.
Yeah.
By now it's probably out, huh?
Yeah, a new single coming up. It's called Stupid Cupid. It's
Stupid Cupid.
Stupid Cupid.
That should be out by Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I you know, it's just the way
We're working on it.
we're working on it, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit later than that. So we'll know by the time this is out, I'm sure. But so it's a song that I wrote with Nancy Deckett and Lauren Spring. And
Lauren Spring. I see a lot of her videos.
yeah, you know,
She hasn't been on this podcast yet?
No, I got to get her on.
she's
Okay.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll help you out there, Dave.
Good.
But as mentioned earlier, I haven't had the best luck in relationships. But
Don't it?
you
I
know,
can't imagine.
you know, I don't know what it is. My picker is off or something. But this past over a year now, I've been in a relationship that has been great, has been amazing. So I'm super grateful for him. But I used to be a cynic when it came to love, and I was over being embarrassed by the men I was dating, you know? And so when somebody walks in and somebody like my boyfriend, and I am like, oh my gosh, like, please don't make me look dumb again. Like, I can't go through this again, you know? So we wrote this song kind of about that.
Stupid Cupid.
Yeah, Stupid
Awesome.
Cupid. So,
Good. Live around the dining room table.
all right.
On the podcast called Songwriter Connection.
Yes. I don't like romance. All that BS can kiss my ass. It isn't fun letting your heart get walked on. And I feel cheated. Can't say I don't feel defeated. The movies lie. Show me Nick dreamy and a real guy. So what am I supposed to do when I turn around and I see you? Please don't make me look stupid. You're acting like Cupid, straight to my heart. I'm falling apart. Are you a Greek god or a work of art? Please don't make me look stupid. You're acting like Cupid, going crazy. Who am I lately? Damn boy, am I gonna call you baby? Am I stupid?
stupid Cupid. Don't know what's next, but I'll take the chance to call you my ex. If you're down, we can find out and mess around. Please don't make me look stupid. You're acting like Cupid, straight to my heart. I'm falling apart. Are you a Greek god or a work of art? Please don't make me look stupid. You're acting like Cupid, going crazy. Who am I lately? Damn boy, am I gonna call you baby? Are you Cupid? Am I stupid Cupid? Oh, a direct hit. I'm going down and I'm good with it. Oh, a direct hit. I'm going down and I'm good with it. Please don't make me look stupid. You're acting like Cupid, straight to my heart. I'm falling apart. Are you a Greek god or a work of art? Please don't make me look stupid. You're acting like Cupid, going crazy. Who am I lately? Am I gonna call you baby?
Very nice. Trinity Wiseman. Live around the dining room table on the Songwriter Connection Podcast. Nancy Decken is with us, too. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Dave.
You've known each other a long time.
We have.
So you've watched her grow as an artist and as a writer.
Yes. You know, as someone, as, you know, more in the businessy role in this relationship, I've often heard people like artist managers, the wonderful Neil Spielberg, or various people saying, you know, the artist is not ready. I'll know when they're ready. And, you know, and what makes an artist ready?
Yeah.
And as time, and I've been able to be on this journey long term with Trinity, and I know the minute she turned into her own lane, that no one else was going to be writing and singing in that lane. It's so distinct, and so it's, you know, to be you know, invited here, and it's just been awesome to be a part of it, to help it, to nurture it, to, you know, bring my part, you know, skills to the party, whatever they may be. We just get them all out and get it going.
For sure.
Anyway, we can help. We make it happen, and you know, it's very back and forth too. It's been really special.
Did you both come to Nashville about the same time?
She was here before me.
Yeah, a couple of years. I came in 2013. Was tired of booking a band. I wanted to be at the creation point.
Exactly.
And then a couple of years later, Trinity started coming down.
Yeah, it was great. I was still in school. I was still in high school.
Still in high school.
Yeah, and I would come down a week a month and would miss school to come down and write and do all that stuff, you know.
That is a good way to do it. And, you know, I ran into Mark Allen Barnett, who's been on the show a lot and does tours. Yesterday I ran into him, and he was doing his tour, and the couple were from Utah, long way from Nashville.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Right? And the advice that Mark gives a lot is, you know, they have so much back home. They've got their business and they get kids. You know, and the temptation to just chuck it all and move to Nashville because you think you're going to be a star, it doesn't always work that way. So it's good to kind of like come in, experience it, feel it. You don't always have to be here to make it in the industry, but you can come in and test the water, so to speak.
For sure, yeah. I mean, there's nothing else like Nashville. I mean, you hear it all the time. Like, people are so willing to collaborate and to write with each other, and you don't find that anywhere else.
The community. You talked about community before, but the community here is strong.
I mean, at the same time, you know, Trinity does gigs back home in Pittsburgh, in the Pittsburgh area.
Right.
She you know, does, you know, that's a big part of her artist career. She makes a full living as an artist. She is not just sitting around Nashville waiting for something to happen, eating bonbons.
She's making it happen.
Yeah. I get to go home and play full band shows up there or do little gigs like I do here. And it's incredible because I get to do them with my dad and I get to do them with my band. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's awesome. We're doing our first, I'm doing my first headliner show in Pittsburgh on February 7th, which will be after this or before this comes out. But yeah, so it'll be really exciting to get to just play original music for people because
it's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's a cover town, so it's great to have venues that still want to have original music.
Yeah. So you'll get to play a lot of your original stuff, but throw in covers too, huh?
Yeah, I do that primarily, but with that show it'll be great because I think it'll just be all me, which is awesome. I mean, I've been writing since I was 9, writing well since I was probably 14 or 15. But I have a lot of songs, so it's always great to kind of see those come to light in a band scene and see how that kind of translates and see if people like it, you know, because obviously I love the stuff I do.
So you get your whole band.
Yeah. Okay. So it's exciting. Yeah.
That's very good.
Got a band here, got a band back there. So
Well, there
easy enough. No travel costs, right?
That's right. Well, that's awesome. Now, do you book all your own shows?
So I actually play through a company down here now called Jam Factory.
Factory?
Yeah, so they are associated with Dierks Bentley's Whiskey Row.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so they do so many venues. So I play a lot through them, and then rest is me. Yeah, so.
Do you do the downtown scene at all? The Lower Broadway?
You know, I dip my toe in every so often, right? I play the 1230 Club quite a bit because that one's a little bit more...
That's the one that... what's his name? Justin
Timberlake, yeah. So it's very much so more not like the straight-laced country vibe, which is great. I do a duo shift there on Saturdays, and it's fun because, a buddy of mine comes out, and we just harmonize and play songs we love. Yeah, so it's great.
I'll have to come out and check you out one of these
days. You should. It's awesome. Great time.
Doing that when?
I'm doing it this Saturday.
This Saturday?
10 to 2, yeah.
Oh, wow. I think I have a podcast that day.
That is okay. We're there almost like every other Saturday. So, yeah.
I'm going to come there and see.
Yeah, please do.
I'm going to show myself in there.
I would love that.
Let's have a party.
It's fun.
Let's have a party. Let's have a song. Let's have another song. Pick up that Yamaha over there. It's a beautiful guitar.
Thank you.
And tell us the story behind this song. This is what we do.
Yeah. This one. I'll give you a sad one since I gave you a happy one.
Okay.
But another failed relationship. But so I dated someone a while ago, and he had a problem with alcohol, and I had no idea the whole time. But it kind of reared its ugly head towards the very end. Some cheating, some whatever. But I feel like when you have a toxic presence in your life and it's finally gone, it can feel like you weren't sober the whole time. And coming out of it is like, wow, like everything is actually okay. And I feel very, very good and very sober. So I took this idea to Nancy Deckett and to Rory Burke, who is a very accomplished songwriter. He's incredible.
Yes. Yeah. Shadows in the Moonlight.
Shadows in the Moonlight.
Rory Burke.
Yes.
You look so good in love, George Strait, Rory Burke. Yes.
Yeah.
That guy.
We've been writing with him since she was 16.
Yeah, exactly. As someone that has dated and, you know, I've guarded my heart a lot, and I think that that's something that's hard to let people in on. And then once you do it and you're disappointed, it can be very heartbreaking. Yeah.
When you get into a relationship, you have to have a disclaimer.
Exactly.
Be careful. I'm a songwriter.
I know.
Okay? You mess with me, I'm going to write a song.
They almost like it, I feel like, you know. I've had an ex follow me, and then he unfollowed me after I released a song that was about him, and I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. So,
it was a fictional you. It wasn't the real you.
Oh, I'm terrible. I was like, it is about you.
It is about you.
I was like, if you feel like it was a personal attack, maybe there's some things you need to work on. So, you know.
Okay, so when I'm out playing, I always tell people I write a lot of, good songs about bad boys.
That's what it is.
Songs about bad boys.
And half of them are written with Trinity.
Hey, my dad, who is not really involved in my dating life at all, but if I, date someone and it goes bad or whatever, he's always kind of happy about it because I write a lot. So he likes that, but I got into a happy relationship and he's like, what are you doing? Like, I need the breakup songs. Like, what are you doing? I was like, I've got a lot of stuff to pull from, so it's okay.
We have plenty more to go.
Yeah, exactly. But this one is the more like acoustic track, a little bit from the project. This one is called Sober.
Good.
So, yeah. Pulled up drunk on my birthday, red Solo cup in hand. I can't look you in the face in front of all my friends. I talk in circles till I'm purple, but you don't understand. Tried to be cautious, didn't go too fast, but now I feel nauseous. It wasn't meant to last, now in the past, looking back to find some closure. But now that it's over, I finally feel sober. I didn't want to lose this. You were hard to let go, but the highs felt so delicate, and the lows were too low. We talk in circles till we're purple, but you still don't understand. I tried to be cautious, didn't go too fast, but now I feel nauseous. It wasn't meant to last, now in the past, looking back to find some closure. But now that it's over, I finally feel sober. We talk in circles till we're purple, but you'll never understand. Try to be cautious, didn't go too fast, but now I feel nauseous. It wasn't meant to last, now we're in the past, looking back, find some closure. But now that it's over, I finally feel sober.
Nice. Nice song.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So many things in there that just I wanted to talk about in that song. I love unusual rhymes.
Yeah.
The ones that surprise you, but still say what you want to say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Rhymes like circle and purple.
Yeah.
You know?
That was like a very... when we were writing, we were talking a lot about when you're not sober and, you know, how like spinny things are and just how crazy things are. And that came to mind when we were writing that pre-chorus. I was like, it's also like getting blue in the face, you know, like that's kind of... Absolutely. I felt like what would be happening, you know, when you talk to somebody and they're just not understanding you and they don't get it. Right. So that was one of those lines that we came up with, and cautious and nauseous as well.
I love that too.
That's one of those things where it's just like, it just makes sense, you know.
With a proper rhyme, but you know, and then the way you deliver the hook with 3 rhymes, you know. Yeah. Closure, over, and sober.
Yeah.
Love
I
it.
mean, it's great. I love that song a lot. Every person, like it's based on a true story. I mean, really? the first verse is literally my 23rd birthday. Wow. And the guy I was seeing, he showed up and he had a red Solo cup in his hand and he was drunk and he showed up to my birthday dinner, and it was like really polarizing, and all my friends were there. And so I was kind of going through the songs I was thinking about cutting for this project and that I was really excited about, and I would play that one for my friends, and I swear every time I say that first line of like, pulled up drunk on my birthday, red Solo cup in hand, they're always like, yeah, we were there, man. We were there. We know what happened, you know. But one of my favorite songs that I've written, just because it is so personal, but it's also something a lot of people can relate to when you're with somebody and it doesn't click and they're not good for you. And once you're out of it and you're like, everything's way better. Yeah. It's
the other thing that attracted me to that song is the melody.
Thank you.
And the beautiful open chords that you play.
Yeah.
It just sucks you right in.
Oh, for sure.
So my question is, when you sat down to write that, did you have that melody in mind or no?
I always have chords in mind. I try to pride myself on being a person that comes up with some catchy melodies and tries to do something different. I don't like my songs to all kind of sound the same. And I came in with that, and we were trying to figure out how we were going to start it. And I was like, this experience I had, we should just write it. And so we wrote that first verse. And then once it came to the chorus, I don't know, it just kind of came out of us. And it was just like,
and you used
incredible.
a pre-chorus in the chorus.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is an important point when you're songwriting. I mean, there are songs that are ABA, as we talk about, AABA, but there are songs that have just verse chorus. But now there's like a pre-chorus, which is kind of a build that leads up to the chorus.
I mean, it's great for the momentum of the song, I think, and I really, really learned a lot from going to the NSAI things when I was young.
Oh yeah,
and when I was writing before that, I was kind of doing my own thing, and something that was said to me was that you need to know the layout before you mess with the layout.
I think so.
Yeah. And so that's always something that now when I play around with it, I'm like, oh, I get it because I know what I'm doing now. But before I'd be like, I had 3 pre-choruses and 1 chorus, and it was really fun. Yeah. And people would be like,
chorus.
And people are like, that's interesting, but like, that's not, so I think the song has a lot of momentum.
Yeah,
and
it really does.
And the track it's beautiful. I mean, there's so much layering in the vocals, and that melodic line after the chorus of like the O's and whatever, like we really build off of that, and it's beautiful. It's one of my favorite things we did on this project.
That's so popular today.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody can sing the O.
Exactly. Yeah. Come on, guys.
People tend to sing along with you.
Exactly.
So that's a modified cranberry melody in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I draw a lot of inspiration from the Cranberries.
I mean, I would just like to say, when Trinity and Rory and I get together to write, we talk for maybe 2 hours first.
No kidding.
We're going to talk about this. We have lunch. And then whatever it is that's going on, we're going to talk about that. And then the song will roll out in a half an hour.
Yeah, I used to feel bad. I was very much unloading on them my problems for a while there. And
we were never unhappy. We've never been unhappy.
No, they just are such a welcoming presence, I feel like. Nancy and Rory both have that energy where it's like you're sitting down and I feel like I'm laying on that therapist couch and I'm ready to like unload. So it's great to write with people like that. And I think that song in particular, I came and I was like, I think sober means something different to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think that everyone has their own life experiences, and it's great to kind of dip into that and just kind of see a song that can really mean a lot to me as an artist, but I think can really mean a lot to other people too. Yeah. They hear it.
It's a sobering thought, huh?
It is, yeah.
Trinity, before you go, tell everybody where to find you on the socials.
For sure. I'm just at Trinity Wiseman on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. That is me. You'll find me. Trinity as in the Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
There you go.
Or the Matrix, or whatever you enjoy. And then Wiseman as...
Wiseman, like the 3 wise men.
Yes, but like one. A wise man.
Wise man.
Yeah, so that's it. You can find me on there. Anywhere.
I love your videos. I was watching some of them. Sometimes just you and an acoustic guitar, you and that Yamaha.
I have the most fun with that sometimes.
Sometimes singing a cover, sometimes,
sometimes I shut off my outfit, It's kind of the vibe, right?
Yeah, it's the vibe. Absolutely. Nance, thanks for joining us too.
Hey, you're welcome. So thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're going to see you again next week with Cody Clayton Eagle. What a voice.
Yeah. Country boy.
Oh, man, let me tell you.
Country man.
You're going to love this guy next week. All right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time. See you, Trinity. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Bye, Dave.
Right on.
We hope you enjoyed this intimate glimpse into the world of songwriting and found inspiration in the stories shared by our talented guests. Remember, the magic of music lies not only in the notes and chords, but in the emotions and experiences woven into every lyric. Until next time, keep listening, keep creating, and keep the melodies alive.